Now joining me is Toby Foreman, the head football coach of the Shoemaker Gray Wolves. And Toby, thought you were going to get to play at home last week, and then at the last minute had troubles at the stadium. You had to regroup, retool, get some buses lined up, and head to Kerrville. Tell me about that adventure.
Yeah, in football terms, that's called a sudden change. Is what that, because at about noon on game day, it was determined that the stadium was not usable, and the alternative was a 3-hour road trip to Kerrville. So, but kudos to KISD and kudos to our administration and our kids and parents, because we and the bus people, because we threw that together quickly, and we went down there and got the victory. So, like I said, there's almost nothing you can throw at us on a game day. We've been through that situation.
You said they almost forgot to get off the bus, though.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, because it was unfortunate. The kids were looking forward to senior night, and we had parents that flew in from all over the country, and they were excited about that. And then when we called the kids out of class, and I think they thought they were about to get ready for a pep rally, but we told them, call your parents, we got to play in Kerrville. So they were pretty upset, but it was 14-0 before you could blink, and then we settled down, and then we started playing Shoemaker Gray Wolf football.
Everybody looked good?
Well, we came out of there injury-free, and that's a big deal. And we had one turnover, and that was my fault. It was much improved from week one to the second game. Much improved.
Were you able to spread it around offensively, do a lot of different stuff with the kids or not?
Oh, we did somewhat. I mean, it was people were playing in places probably they weren't expecting to, because we had some things happen early on. But once we really got into the game in the second half, it was just run the ball and let's get out of there healthy. I mean, I wasn't trying to throw it, because they were throwing it a lot, and so it was making the game we didn't get to the game till like 10-something, and like almost 10:30, and so I was trying to get home healthy, and that was my goal. And so we just ran the ball, and we were able to run the ball with some success.
Well, of course, you get this off week after coming out of district play. You got to feel pretty good about your district play, or pretty much, as you go into these off weeks. What are you doing in the off week to get ready? Is this just conditioning and practice, or are you already looking at next week's ball game?
No, we're already looking at the Kangaroos. I've seen them play all three of their games in person, because they've been playing on Thursday nights, and they're good. I mean, they're really good. They definitely, in the skill area, I mean, they remind me of the 2018 and 2019 Shoemaker Gray Wolves, because you have all that skill, you have all that speed and quickness, and they're young. I mean, Emery's a senior, and Jacoby Thomas is a senior, but the rest of those guys are like sophomores and juniors. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. And it's not just their skill, their defense. I mean, you got Jameer Larkins. I mean, there's some guys that are 2 or 3 year stars on that defense that really, really have impressed me on film and watching them in person.
Yeah, Neil always has a pretty good squad together over there, and this year I think he's been waiting for this team. And this year and next year are really going to be good for the Kangaroos, like you said. And you can't leave Searcy out of the mix there. That's a young kid that can do just about everything on the field, too.
No, he's a phenomenal punt returner and slot receiver. And the other day he got a touchdown call back on a questionable call on a little screenplay. But he does a great job returning punts. They also have a freshman starting at middle linebacker, Mark Stevens. I mean, he's impressive. Very, very physical young man. I mean, you don't see in 6A ball a freshman starting at Mike Backer that much. So, I mean, that's extremely, extremely impressive. And I'll say they got about 6 or 7 sophomores and a freshman playing on their varsity. So, like I said, we're going to have to show up and play, because they're not going to be IDing in the stadium. Everybody's going to be wearing jersey numbers, and that's the only numbers that count. So, whether you're freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, we've got to show up and play Shoemaker Gray Wolf football.
Yeah, and quarterback position, Norman kid's doing pretty good back there.
Oh, no doubt. It's I call him little Johnny Manziel. I mean, he runs around and you can't tackle him, and he's on point with his throws. And I've seen him. He came in after the second drive in their opening game, and he's just gotten better every week. They're getting better every week. It's a scary group. It's a very, very scary group. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of us a couple of years ago with the youth that we had and the skill that we had, and just mixed in with the senior, the seniors and the experience of the linemen. And you've got to tackle these guys because if you don't, they're going to the house.
Yeah, they've got some explosiveness like you do. You've got the explosiveness to make it happen just like that too. So you got to be feeling good about that.
Yeah, I mean we got a couple guys that can run. We put together a decent relay right now
Yeah.
and compete with anybody. But I mean, bottom line is, it still all comes back to the execution, turnovers, blocking, and tackling. I mean, whoever don't turn it over and blocks and tackles the best is probably going to come out victorious in this game.
It sounds good, and of course we'll be back to talk to you next week in the pregame show to lead into your home opener. Finally, I'm headed out Friday night. I'm thinking about going to Event and watch the number 2 team in the state May take on the Event Elks. Man,
may or may not. May or may not.
I think I'm going to do that. There's some good ball games going on around, so I think I might check that ball game out. You want to go?
I'm going to take this Friday off. Coach Foreman's we've had a rough start to this season.
There'll be a good
Coach
college
Foreman,
game on TV, probably.
You know what? I'll be watching that. More than likely, I'll be watching that. Or sleeping. We'll catch up on sleep. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we will see you next week. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks for everything you do for KISD, Bubba.
All right, Dan, and as always, go Gray Wolves.